All right, so I'm actually on the bike right now. I tried to film this already, and it ended with me on the bike, so I'm just going to start on the bike this time. Very, very quiet. That's because it's magnetic resistance, which means nothing is actually touching the wheel, so that's why it's so quiet. This is how you adjust it. There's like 100 different levels for this. You can't see the levels just on the bike itself, and it doesn't come with a screen, but frankly, that's not a problem for me. Just get a tablet and you connect it through Bluetooth. Sorry, I can't breathe. And everything will just show up on your screen. I do not put my phone in here because this little dip kind of covers my touchscreen buttons, so I can't use the phone the way I want to. So I bought this magnetic car mount instead. It even came with a little sticker, which pretty much all the generic devices that are MagSafe come with a sticker. And I just stick it on there, and I can even rotate it if I want to. So this is fine with me. This setup is fine. Frankly, I don't do classes. It's not something I'm interested in. I got my own routine. I'm a bit of a control freak. I like doing stuff myself. So I don't even use this really. I just put it up here so you could see what it looks like. This is a Kindle Fire, very old one. But you can have technically 2 different screens on here if you want them. One of the biggest selling points of this bike for me was the versatility of the handles. There's just so many different ways that you can grab these. If you want to sit more upright, you can hold it this way. If you want to lean forward a little, go here. If you want to dip down even more than that, go ahead and grip it all the way at the end. This is not foam. It is painted, and it's got a bit of a rubber feel. Whoops, I just scratched it up. But it's very hard and firm. I feel extremely stable on this. I don't have to grip the handles very hard. I think when you first start, if you're not used to a bike, it might be a little rough on your hands, but you'll get used to it. So the handles, huge selling point, not having a screen, big money saver, easy to fix. Just put a little mount on here and you're fine. Let me get off this. All right, so let's look at it from the side. So your drink holder is here. I don't know about you, but I can't really reach this when I'm pedaling, nor do I really care because I don't feel like I need to drink during my workout. I'm fine doing it after it's over. So not a problem for me. You can change the pedals. I chose not to because I don't have cleats. So snap-on pedals, they're just not necessary. These have spikes, and I haven't had any issues sliding my shoes in here. I don't feel like it's wobbly or loose. I just haven't had any problems, so I left them the way that they are. But you can take them off and put a different one on if you want to. The seat, this was a huge selling point for me, is you can take off the original seat and replace it with whichever one you want. I actually went to a bike shop and got measured, so that's how I ended up with this one. It is the WTB Coda Wide, and it just lines up with my bones so well. I have used this for over an hour, and I was fine. So, able to replace a seat. Fantastic. I love this bike in general. There is only one thing that makes me sometimes regret buying it. And that is the fact that this side panel, both this and the other one, they're the same, is so hard to take off. Sometimes I hear a bit of a clicking sound, very light, but I really wish I could easily take this off and just look inside. Sometimes I hear the clicking sound, sometimes I don't. Other people have reported that too. I contacted the company and I was able to follow the steps of taking these screws out and almost getting this side panel off. But the thing is, there's kind of like a little bar in here, so you also have to slide it back before you can slide it up, and I just can't slide it back because this circle is not big enough. You're supposed to take this plastic piece out. They use some kind of tweezer tool in the video, which did not come with the bike. I have no idea what that tool is called, so obviously I don't have it. So I haven't been able to take this off. Maybe that would have been the key. My other thought was taking the arm off, which that is way more complicated than you're thinking because there's 2 steps. So you need more than just a socket wrench to get this off. You also need something called a crank remover. That is a specialty tool. It is not something you're going to find in Ace Hardware. You can get it online for like $20, but that tool, like, you need some good leverage and arm strength. If you look up videos of people using it, you'll see them all struggling. You will see all of them struggling to get these arms off. It is hard. It is hard to get these off. So I can't get the side panel off, and the company won't replace anything or give me any further information until I do. So I'm just going to have to deal with the clicking noise. The seat goes up and down, forward and back. Fantastic. Easy to move. Handles up and down. However, they do not go forward and back. So when you set up your seat, you have to base it on the pedals and the handles, because those are your limitations. I went to the bike shop and I asked them to mount this a little further back on the seat than where people normally put it, so that the seat would stick out a little bit further. Now, I probably could have just slid it forward, but after kind of fumbling around with it, this ended up just being the best setup, and I chose to leave it that way. The bike plugs in with this. If you plug it in the top, it is going to cover the bottom outlet, so I always put it in the bottom. When you plug it in, the bike beeps really, really loud, so be prepared for that beep. And then this starts flashing. I've never had a problem connecting my bike. Never. And this will stop flashing and just be a solid color once it's connected. So you can verify that it connected successfully, or if it accidentally disconnected midway. You can download the Echelon app. I actually don't use that. I use an app called QZ. So Q like queen, Z like zebra. It is a $7 app, and it's basically a generic third-party off the official market app. I believe it's available for iPhones as well. I have an Android, but it links to the bike. It links to my Garmin watch. I can see so much data on one screen with that program. It's a little confusing to set up, but that QZ app, that's how I monitor what's going on with my bike. I don't use a subscription or a giant screen. I just use the app, and so far the experience has been fantastic. I just hate that I can't take off this side panel. That is literally my only complaint, is I cannot get off the side panels to check what's going on inside. Do I regret buying it? No. As someone who never owned an exercise bike, I think this was a great choice for me. But if you already know that you like doing bikes or spin class, I think it might be worth going a little bit higher than this. This was $387 at Walmart. A Suni bike, which my understanding is that's a popular starting bike. A Suni bike is like $150, but they're not nearly as comfortable and customizable. The next level up from this was like $600 or $700. That one didn't have as many options with the handles. That's what really held me back from going up a level, was the design of the handles. And honestly, even the next level up, I'm not sure if I could have gotten this side panel off, because they all seem to have this little plastic ring that I cannot get off. So I feel like I kind of would have just run into the same issue over and over again. But all in all, aside from that clicking sound, I haven't had any issues with this bike. None. None whatsoever. I've had it over a month. I use it several times a week. No problems. So, great purchase. Great purchase. Just can't get those side panels off to check for maintenance.